Today is Monday, February 3rd, 2025, and this is the most current episode of Miles's monthly Monday memo. No matter what you might have heard before, this one exists more close to the present time than any of the ones that came before it. I'm your host, Miles, the head honcho of wiseguys.events, purveyors of intelligent fun and playful experiences for professionals. And in these monthly memos, once a month or so, on a Monday so far, I roll a 12-sided die, I add one to it, and then I spend that amount of minutes talking to you about what's going on in the world of games. What's going on in the world outside of games? You know, January was a rough month for a lot of folks. I want to witness that. And I come to you today with a lighthearted story that I think might bring you some cheer. I hope it does. And I'm going to roll a die now. 12-sided die right here. 4. Okay. I am going to spend 5 minutes talking to you. I've used one, and I want to share this story with you. And it puts a spring in my step, and I hope it does in yours as well, which is actually funny in hindsight once you learn a little more about the story and the name of the team that this story is about. So as I said, today is Monday, the 3rd of February. Last week, which is to say last month, or in other words, last Friday, I had a corporate event for a client with a slightly unusual backstory. There's a woman in San Diego who used to work for my company, and she was a real rock star. She would host events in San Diego. Her name's Kat, and we fell out of touch for a while, and she moved to the San Francisco Bay Area, and so did I. She got married, she changed her name, she changed her phone number, she changed her email. When I was hiring for events in San Diego, I would try to reach her, and I couldn't. And then we ran into each other by chance at Salesforce Park on top of a skyscraper in San Francisco. And I said, Kat? And she said, Miles. And I said, I'm so happy that I've run into you. And it's been great to reconnect that professional friendship and connection. And her work status has changed. She now works for a company that has hired Wise Guys Events twice now to run programs for her company's holiday party. They've got a business here in San Francisco with 80 or so employees, and their company embraces the culture of play. And they hired me last year to do our photo scavenger hunt, and they hired me this year, and they said, we're having our holiday party. We had to postpone it. It's happening in January, and we want you to do mafia trivia for us. And I had to call and be like, can you tell me like what that means? And they were like, well, you know, the party's going to be themed. There's going to be casino games, and we're encouraging people to dress as gangsters. And we want to know if you can do a pub quiz style trivia program. And we want it to be sort of like mafia inspired. And I was like, okay, so let me be clear. Like, you don't want it to be, it'll get kind of old if it's like 30 questions that are all about the Godfather and Al Capone. And basically, they gave us dispensation to use our creativity. Well, I really enjoyed this assignment, and I went deep into researching trivia questions and building a game that would be simple, but that would have a pop. So we split the players up into teams. I did a really nifty team split up that just involves shuffling together a deck of cards and handing them out. It's simple, it's straightforward, and it tied in with the theme. And then we played pub trivia style. There were 5 rounds. In each round, there were 6 questions. I would ask them questions. They would write their answers on a slip and pass it back to me. This was all new. We created this for the client, but the structure is robust. And I went there really well prepared. And so after the first round, people hand in their scores. I announce the standings, and I say, okay, here's the team in first place. Here's the team in second place. They got to choose their own team names. And I said, and fittingly, the team that's coming in last place named themselves Cement Shoes. What else would you expect but for Cement Shoes to be at the bottom? And I got a nice laugh. So we played through 5 rounds of play, and then we do the music round, which is a really fun round that involves lateral thinking, not just being able to identify artist and title. So everybody gets to use their skills. And the Cement Shoes team did so well in the final music round. They had been steadily making up ground, round by round. They had fought their way to the middle of the pack. But their final music round was so good that when I announced the standings, I said they achieved the unthinkable. They went from last to first. Your winning team is Cement Shoes. And so I hope for all of you to have a spring in your step, that we may have a rise as triumphant and as unlikely as Team Cement Shoes. Thank you for joining me for today's memo.